William Barr is the Attorney General. That means he is the chief law enforcement officer for the American people, for the American government. But unfortunately, in his time as AG, he seems to think that his position is intended to accomplish a far more partisan set of goals. And his loyalty to the president goes beyond anything the AG is supposed to have traditionally. Take a look at some excerpts from a speech that he gave to the Federalist Society. And remember that he is saying this just hours after yet another one of Trump's aides was convicted of multiple counts of lying to Congress and witness tampering. He had this to say. Immediately after President Trump won election, opponents inaugurated what they called the resistance, and they rallied around an explicit strategy of using every tool and maneuver to sabotage the functioning of the executive branch and his administration. The fact of the matter is that in waging a scorched earth, no holds barred war of resistance against this administration, it is the left that is engaged in the systemic shredding of norms and undermining the rule of law. And so the AG is taking the entirety of the left and attacking it at the Federalist Society. He goes on to criticize Democrats for launching what he calls a holy war and using, quote, any means necessary to gain momentary advantage, while he said conservatives, quote, tend to have more scruple over their political tactics and rarely feel that the ends justify the means. And that's why they would never impeach a president over oral sex.
I thought that his position was supposed to be non-political.
It is supposed to be non-political.
Okay, so we're just not even faking it
anymore. Or non-partisan at the very least. It's political, but he's not supposed to identify closely with one ideology or party and see himself as launching a war against the other side, which he clearly does.
Yeah, we're not even faking it anymore.
No.
Yeah, that's all right.
Yeah, well, look, he went on to say, in any age, the so-called progressives treat politics as their religion. Their holy mission is to use the coercive power of the state to remake man and society in their own image, according to an abstract ideal of perfection. That's just crazy. That's like right-wing radio host commentary there, but he is an incredibly powerful officer in the US government who says that the progressives, by the way, are just so-called progressives. They're actually practicing a religion and going on a holy war. I love the projection there that the people who he literally in a speech a couple of months ago attacked radical secularists. On the one hand, the radical secularists. On the other hand, they're the true jihadis who are launching a holy war. And William Barr, who is an incredibly religious person who wants to see Christianity embedded more closely in American government, is attacking the left as supposedly following a religion. And that's a thing that comes up a lot, by the way. The really religious right loves to pretend that they're totally non-religious. It's in fact the left who are pursuing some sort of religion.
This is disheartening, but I mean, the thing is that we're jokingly saying, like, I thought he was supposed to be non-political. I thought his position was, of course, that we passed that point a long time ago. He's been seemingly acting as the president's personal attorney.
Yeah.
So we passed that point a long time ago. It's just fascinating that he's so loudly going for it.
And I don't know for sure that this is due to the impeachment strategy that Democrats are going for, where it's very narrowly defined over just one issue, the Ukraine thing, and a very narrow sort of section of that. But I've been saying over and over that William Barr should be a part of that conversation. He tried to shut down the investigation. He's the reason the whistleblowers' initial raising concerns didn't go anywhere. And yet, he's off giving speeches of the Federalist Society and doing whatever he wants. He's not tapped into this at all. It's not just that he's not testifying, it's that there's not even calls for him to testify. The Democrats seem to have completely forgotten about him. And not only has he had this effect in the Ukraine scandal of trying to protect the president, but we know that when the Mueller report was coming out, he had his little press release where he gave a very disingenuous version of what it was going to reveal. And yet, nothing is being done. The Democrats seem to believe, you know what, it's fine, we've got bigger fish to fry. The AG, who holds immense power over a number of different issues, not all of them related to Donald Trump, but we know very important when it comes to criminal justice across the country, drug policy, all of these things. Is this the guy you trust on those issues?
If you're Donald Trump, sure.
Yeah, but we should expect more, and I don't know why nothing is being done.
Right.
Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.